Finding your vocation is much more than looking for a job or discovering a brilliant career. Let me demonstrate what I mean. There's a very old story about three men who are working in a field with large stones at a building site, and someone comes along and asks the men, "Can you tell me what you are doing?" And one of the men says in response, "I'm chipping away at stones." That is a job. The second man says, "I'm making a living to support myself and my family as a stonemason." Okay, that's a career. And the third man looks up and with joy in his face, he says, "I am building a magnificent cathedral for people to come and worship." That's a vocation. You see, finding your vocation as you study and plan for your future is realizing that God is calling you to serve Him with your talents and abilities and your creativity. You're responding to God's call upon your life. And that's much more than just doing a task or a job or building a brilliant career. The word itself, vocation, comes from the Latin word vocation, which means calling. And as Paul explains, all Christians, irrespective of your education and background and talent, all of us are called to serve God with our lives. So he says in Ephesians 4 verse 1, "I urge you as a prisoner of the Lord, who's captured my heart and mind, I urge you to live a life worthy of your vocation or your calling." And then he writes to the church in Thessalonica and says, "I constantly pray that you will live a life worthy of your vocation or your calling." So finding your vocation is getting a life. That's a life of God. And so according to Christian teaching, our work, our creative, productive work is so much more than what we do as a paid job or the task. It's a life full of activities, exercising skill and talent, developing initiative and industry and innovation, and using our imagination to serve God and to bring all of it together as an offering to Him. And that's what I want you to realize. And I want you to understand that finding your vocation is realizing you're always employed by God. Whether you're in employment or out of employment, whether you're at a workplace or not, you're always employed by God. You're His employee, engaged by Him to do many things. And when you think that way, you realize that vocation, your work, your career, and all the jobs, it fills up a whole life, and that you're so much more than what you're doing at the desk or what you're doing at the office or at the factory or at the building site. That you're so much more than this, and you're capable of doing so many more things, and that therefore all that you do and the ways in which you do it and the purpose for which you are doing it can be part of a vocation whereby you're building a life that calls people, that inspires them to come and worship and enjoy God. Yeah, that's a vocation, much more than just doing a job or a career.